Jerry Adams, Jerry Harris, Wayne Shattuck's weather, Jerry Park Sports, and Jane Braden's Healthcast. This is 5 Alive News at 5.
Cash registers are ringing up a lot of merchandise today. It's the busiest day of the year for...
Early during this time of the year could put them in a bad situation by year end.
Today is a good day to just pick what gifts you want to buy. But one shopper says she's trying to get all her shopping done today.
And I am trying to get it all done today as much as possible. Everybody's back to work on Monday, and that's the way it is at my house. Do it all at once and get it over with.
Leather seems to be a popular gift item this year, but this type of gift depends a little bit on the weather.
Our business is a lot busier when it's cold, and we've been having such off weather. You know, some days when it's warm, we're really slow, and then when it gets cold like this, our business picks up a lot.
Stores like Spencer's have gifts for the person who has everything. They've got a real hot item this year. These dancing flowers and dancing palm trees. This is the place to come if you need an unusual gift. These dancing flowers, for example, they'll be gone by Christmas Day. So if you're a late shopper, beware. Many of your favorites could be picked off the shelf this weekend. Cherokee Ballard, 5 Alive News.
Did you see those parking lots today at the shopping centers? Wow, only 30 more shopping days till Christmas.
I can't believe it. Christmas gift shopping wasn't the only thing Oklahomans were doing today. Christmas trees were also on the list. All kinds of trees are for sale, everything from blue firs to the traditional pine trees. Just load them up, take them home, and you've got a head start for the holidays. And what better way to send a slice of holiday spirit than with a Christmas card? The Hallmark store in Quail Springs was a busy place today. People were trying to choose that perfect card. Some filled with a sentimental message, others simply bringing holiday cheer. And Santa Claus and his elves were keeping lots of children happy today. These smiling faces climbed on Santa's knee to create a special holiday memory. The big-eyed kids told Santa what's on their Christmas list in hopes that all their dreams come true on Christmas morning.
And Dateline takes us to Chicago, where holiday shoppers hit the stores in full force today. The busy city is just buzzing with Christmas spirit and bargain hunters. People of all ages everywhere seem to have the holiday fever. And in Washington, D.C., mixed emotions as the courtroom emptied. A federal judge dismissed all Iran-Contra charges against a former CIA official. Charges against Joseph Fernandez were dropped because government secrets prevented a fair defense. The federal prosecutor is blaming an appeal or planning one. And in Czechoslovakia, a quick leadership turnover. The country has a new Communist Party chief after hardline communist leaders resigned today. The resignations followed more than a week of huge protests against policies of the government. It's the third East Bloc government to fall from power in little more than a month.
As East Germans rushed to freedom these past 2 weeks, the emotion of this historical event prompted one West German family to head for the border as well.
It was a trip back to the spot where in 1947 they escaped Russian soldiers and German police.
The exclusive story now as 5 Alive's Ron Talley wraps up his week-long series of reports from West Germany.
The family's venture back to Germany's east-west border began at their hometown cemetery. For Mother Trudy, son Heinz, and daughter Katie, it was a special way of telling Dad the wall was finally open. His terrible years in a prison camp were not in vain. The Limburgs' bold escape to the west now had more meaning. Later, about 100 miles away, the Limburgs relived their frightful escape to freedom in a desolate cow pasture, whose signs and fences separate east from west. A creek marks the spot where 42 years ago, in the dead of night, they walked to freedom. 75-year-old Trudy, then 33, led the escape with an aging mother-in-law, a 14-year-old son, and a 9-year-old daughter. The strength of this woman, obvious in her face, hides the fear she had.
Gefangen würden und wieder zurückgeschickt. She was scared. She was scared we might be captured and returned back. It took a little courage, but we wanted to get across. There goes the patrol.
Soldiers patrolling the East German fence forced Katie to remember that night as well.
And I do remember hearing dogs, and at the time guards had the dogs. And they scared us. We never did understand why they had to be a fence.
Ron Talley, 5 Alive News, Kreitzer, West Germany.
The Limburgs told Ron that this was their first trip back to the place where they escaped from, and it will most likely be their last.
Still ahead on 5 Alive News, Wayne Shattuck has a warm and not so windy forecast for us.
A wish come true for a Detroit Lions fan. Jerry Park has that story in sports.
And a 5 Aliver gives the gift of life for the first time. We'll have a live report.
We're in the Toyland area in our studio, but we were out at Quail Springs Mall today. Pretty encouraging out there, huh?
We had a blood drive going, and it's still going on till 7 o'clock. And as of when we left at about 3, they had about 100 people come by. A lot of folks were bringing toys, too. So if you're going to be going out there to go shopping and not going to the Festival of Lights Parade, where also you can donate toys as our Toyland float goes by, then drop out there at Quail Springs Mall, give blood, and also think of bringing a toy with you.
We're trying to make it easy for you, and you can come to our studio, too. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have come by our studios today. For example, Brian Warren of Oklahoma City brought a doll and many other toys for our Toyland box, which is right in the lobby. Brian, we thank you very much. Your efforts will make many children very happy.
And 2 5 Alivers will be in Shawnee this weekend for a Toyland party. That party begins at 11 o'clock in the morning at Harvey's Incorporated, the Chevrolet dealer in Shawnee. Dean Blevins and Cherokee Ballard will be there. The toys collected at Harvey's will be donated to needy children in Shawnee, so be sure to come by and drop off a toy. And all of those, I think 50 locations around the state at the Chevy dealers, those toys are donated to children in those areas.
Right there, so you see where your donation goes. Yeah. Good weather for shopping today, but a little windy out there. Did you notice?
Was it ever? But it's going to be warmer, I understand, and Wayne Shattuck's in the backyard to tell us exactly how things are going to go.
Well, it will get better the next 24 hours, but you know, you were talking about the blood drive. It's a great thing. There are many neat things you can get out of the blood drive. If you go there, you can get a 5 Alive T-shirt, blood drive T-shirt. Also, you can get a button like this says, "Hug me, I gave blood today." And that was worth it just for me. I got a lot of hugs today. So blood drive is a good deal. It's at Quail Springs Mall. And Jerry is right. It's been very, very windy out here today. The winds will be coming down tomorrow, and it will be getting warmer. So good news all around. Let's see what we have as of 5 o'clock in Oklahoma City. Partly cloudy, 57 degrees. Winds right now. Look at that. Out of the south at 18 miles per hour, gusting to 28. We've seen gusts of up to 36 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. The humidity is 39%. Barometric pressure 2970 and falling, and no precipitation in Oklahoma City right now. Mike Morgan is in the Weather Center with more. Mike?
And Wayne, we'll do something about those strong winds tomorrow. We'll still have some wind around the state, but we had a gust here on the roof of 50 miles per hour, 50, big number, and a lot of wind. But the wind will gradually come down later tonight as a big wind machine. The trough of low pressure to our west will gradually move toward us, and as it does, the gradient will die down and the winds will die down. And tomorrow should be a much more of a pleasant day, but we'll still see the cloud cover like we saw today, that high, thin cirrus cloud cover. That's the subtropical jet stream, and it's right over us. And look at all the clouds out west, scattered or broken clouds, and we'll see those drift by the state over the weekend. And then there's some potential of perhaps a fairly significant storm coming through on Monday and early Tuesday. If it gets much stronger than it looks right now, parts of the state will be contending with perhaps a reasonably significant snowfall, probably northwest of Oklahoma City on Monday. We'll wait and see on that. Radar, the lack of precipitation, just some rain and snow spotted around the higher elevations of Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, and some rain moving into the west coast, but our dry weather will hold right on through the weekend. Weather in motion shows this storm system gradually developing out to our west in the Great Basin, and this is the one we'll track by on Monday, and by then the Gulf moisture will have returned to the state with strong south winds on Monday, and we could see significant amount of precipitation, perhaps especially across eastern Oklahoma, and it's been a month since much of the western parts of the state have seen rain, so we'll try to pull some of that rain in here. As for Oklahoma City tonight, we're looking for partly cloudy skies. Our temperature very mild, 45 for a low. South breezes decreasing to 8 to 14. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, mild, a high temperature of 66, and the winds 8 to 16. Nice change, and shifting into the north by early afternoon. Here's the forecast. You can remember partly cloudy and 66 degrees over the weekend, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Monday, 59 for a high, and then much colder on Tuesday, 41 with precipitation ending, partly cloudy skies, and then sunny and 47 on Wednesday, and the low temperatures dropping down to 29 by Tuesday morning, 22 by Wednesday morning. So a change toward more winter-type weather coming up, but a good weekend shaping up, and you know where I was today as well. Had a good experience.
Badges of courage,
yes.
Huh? Gave blood for the first time.
Sure did. It was a great experience, too. Those nurses really know how to take care of you out there.
We're proud of you. Downtown Oklahoma City will soon be turning into a winter wonderland with thousands of bright lights and decorations. You see, the 6th Annual Festival of Lights Parade kicks off in about a half an hour. 5 Alive will have a float, and Jerry Adams and Jane Giroux will also be at the parade. And don't forget to bring a toy for Toyland. Volunteers will collect the toys and place them on our float. Now, here's the parade route. North on Broadway to Robert S. Kerr, west on Kerr to Robinson, and south on Robinson to the Myriad Gardens. The tree lighting is set for 6:25, and the parade begins at 6:30. We'll have live reports from the festivities throughout our 6 p.m. newscast.
By the way, on that float with me will be Ben and Butch McCain, and then the volunteers on the way will be collecting the toys.
They'll be walking alongside, right? Okay.
Still ahead on 5 Alive News, 5 Alive's second annual blood drive kicked off with a bang today.
Healthcast reporter Jane Braden is standing by live to tell us what's coming up. Jane?
Well, Jeff Mirasola and I are out here with a lot of people who are in the giving spirit. We'll tell you more in just a moment.
Holiday shoppers at Quail Springs Mall are still able to give the gift of life today.
And 5 Alive is proud to hold our second annual blood drive, and it's been a huge success so far.
It certainly has. Healthcast reporter Jane Braden has been there all day long. She joins us now to tell us how things are going. Jane?
They're going great here, Jerry. So far, more than 130 people have rolled up their sleeves to do a little giving here, and we're very excited about that. That's a lot more than gave last year at this same time. You were there, Jeff. You were just upstairs. How's it going?
Yeah, 99 last year. You said you're doing a better job selling the blood drive, right?
That's right. You did it last year.
Yeah, the mall has really helped out. There's, what, 3 locations to give, and not a lot of crowds, but people are coming out, like I said.
That's right. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people are giving for their very first time, and that can be a kind of a scary experience. As Mike Morgan told you a little bit earlier, he gave for the first time, and we watched him go through it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Mike Morgan is taking a courageous step, becoming a blood donor for the very first time. Mike was kind of worried about the needles and the sticks, worried it all might hurt. But the smile on his face says he worried for nothing. Mike laughs away his nervousness as the technician prepares to actually take his blood. Sure enough, it didn't hurt much at all.
I didn't know what to think. I've never done it before. So I've heard a few people get kind of queasy, and other people say it's no problem. It's really no problem.
Okay, and you're about finished? So.
Almost done. They say I'm a mover.
As Mike the Mover finishes his donation, his blood now goes to help someone else. Someone who's sick, hurt, or having surgery. Someone who will never know Mike Morgan gave blood, but who'll be glad somebody did. And the giving continues throughout the weekend on this slow time for blood donation. Saturday at 5105 North Portland. Then again at 526 East Memorial Road. And a couple of fire stations are pitching in, too. At Fire Station 30 in the morning, that's at 4343 Lakeshore Drive. And in the afternoon at Fire Station 31 at 618 North Rockwell. And then everybody's pitching in over at the Life Christian Church on Sunday to do some giving at 6801 South Anderson Road. Lots of opportunities for you to get into the spirit of giving a little bit early.
And don't forget a toy.
Don't forget a toy.
Jane, I understand if you give blood, you don't have to wear your 5 Alive pin. That's what Jerry Adams told me. Is that right?
That's my understanding of the whole situation. Yes, I appreciate you bringing it up, too. Don't you appreciate that?
We should let everybody in on the fact that she lent you hers, Jer.
Well, she still doesn't have a pen, does she? Just ahead in sports, the Aggies in Arkansas fight it out to see who will go to the courtroom. Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl. You'll go to the courtroom. Jerry Park has the story next.
I guess we shouldn't take it for granted. Everybody knows if you don't wear your 5 Alive pen, you get caught without it, you donate $1 to Toyland.
That's right.
And yes, you got it. You got it.
I'm okay. I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of people who are not real happy down in Dallas.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they're not, are they?
They really are. Whether it happened or not, I don't know. Yesterday in Texas Stadium, the Eagles won the ball game over the Cowboys. Buddy Ryan made another enemy. Jimmy Johnson and owner Jerry Jones said they would file a protest with the league office early next week. And Johnson says he has information the Eagles put a $500 bounty on quarterback Troy Aikman in yesterday's game and a $200 bounty on kicker Luis Zendejas.
Having bounties on opposing players is not the way it's supposed to be done. I would have said something to Buddy, but he wouldn't stand on the field long enough. He put his big fat rear end into the dressing room.
Well, today, Buddy Ryan answered the bounty charges.
You know better than that. I mean, I've heard that stuff ever since I've been in this league, and people saying they're going to be, take a shot at you and all that stuff. That's all talk. That's that macho stuff that goes with the NFL. It's been around there for years.
Well, Ryan went on to say, and it was a pretty good point, it was ridiculous to put a bounty on a kicker who's been in a 6-week slump. Ryan said those are the types of players that you tell your guys to leave alone. You want them to kick. And the beat goes on. Texas and Arkansas, big college football game down at Kyle Field in College Station, and Arkansas won it 23-22. Now all Arkansas has to do to go to the Cotton Bowl is beat SMU next week. State high school football playoffs are winding down to a championship. Semifinals in classes 5 and 4A, B, and C tonight. Quarterfinal in 3, 2 in Class A. All the scores and highlights tonight on Prep Sports Extra following our late local news. And finally tonight, the Detroit Lions have the day off today after their 13-10 win over the Cleveland Browns yesterday. And one particular fan is enjoying the win just as much as the players. As the players worked out earlier in the week, they were joined by 7-year-old Anthony Cooley in the Silver Dome. Several months ago, Anthony was diagnosed as having an inoperable brain tumor. After radiation treatments, medication has caused his body to swell, nearly doubling his weight. Anthony was greeted by former Oklahoma State star Barry Sanders and by Lions head coach Wayne Fonts, who presented him with a bunch of Lions souvenirs. And then Anthony, as part of the Make-A-Wish program, watched practice and said he felt like he was a big part of the team, and as such, a big part of yesterday's win.
Barry Sanders is going to be a
story.
Oh, isn't he?
Great story.
We'll be right back. Well, today in Project Challenge, another exceptional student from the Oklahoma City Public Schools. This one from Capitol Hill High School in South Oklahoma City. Marishi Albert is Ojibwe Indian. Her name in her native tongue means little yellow bird. And tonight at 10, find out how that name, which also means survivor, is fitting for this young lady. We told you earlier about the Festival of Lights, which begins shortly in downtown Oklahoma City.
Jane Giroux, who is one of the co-chairpersons for the event, joins us live now to tell us what's coming up. Jane?
Oh, wonderful things coming up. Crowds are beginning to gather around here. Entertainment will be beginning in just a few minutes. You can hear the Christmas music even now with the Salvation Army Band. Jody Miller will be singing the Oklahoma Chorale, and then at 6:25, the Christmas tree behind me will light 1,000 red bulbs, and then the parade, of course, at 6:30. I want to invite everyone to come to downtown Oklahoma City. Bring a toy. It's also a candlelight parade, so bring a flashlight and bring a toy for our Toyland float. We hope you'll come down for all the festivities. Free hot chocolate the Salvation Army is providing, and it should be a wonderful evening, even great weather. So come on down. Jerry.
How can we resist, huh?
Oh, I'll tell you, I'll be down there. Roy Orr will be helicoptering us down right after the show here.
Lots of fun.
See you there. Finally, it was 20 years ago today. Apollo 12 splashed down safely in the Pacific, ending the second manned mission to the moon.
Columnist William F. Buckley has our birthday list today. He's 64. Actor Howard Duff celebrates his 72nd birthday, and ragtime pianist-composer Scott Joplin was born 131 years ago in Texarkana, Texas.
Joplin's ragtime music was revived for use in that 1973 film, remember it, The Sting?
Great movie. We leave you now with a scene from The Sting and the good old sound of Scott Joplin's ragtime.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Bye.